Welcome to the Surfcast podcast. I'm Toby Lapinski.
And I am Jerry Audet. Toby, what is the Surfcast podcast?
The Surfcast podcast to me is basically everything surf fishing. Doesn't matter species, doesn't matter location. Now, granted, primarily it's going to be Northeast, New England, striped bass surf fishing because, that's what you and I do too much of the time, but that's really what I'm looking for, talking about surf fishing for striped bass primarily, but again, sometimes we go for albies, sometimes we do some travel. It might be fly, might be spinning, might be plugging, chunking. Really, if it falls into the category of surf fishing, you know what? It's open for discussion here. How about you? What's Surfcast podcast to you, Jerry?
I think Surfcast podcast for me is an opportunity for us to share our thoughts on surf fishing overall. So on all modalities, at least the ones that we have some knowledge of, because obviously we don't have knowledge of everything. But also we're going to bring in people who have other takes, who do things we don't do. And I think this is just a way for us to connect the community and connect ourselves to the community and, offer up some surf fishing content for people to listen to on their way to work, while they're at work, and also just in the winter and in the summer, and just share our thoughts and our feelings about the surf. So that's what the Surfcast podcast is to me.
To me, that sounds great. I think we're going to cover a bit of everything, like you said, from our experiences to a little bit of how-to, to some interviews, to some stuff maybe we know a lot about, of course, and then probably some of the stuff we don't know so much about. So we may seek to have some input from the listeners out there, which might be cool from time to time. But again, I think really just a bit of everything surfcasting coming out of our heads, our mouths, our brains, and see where it leads.
That's right, Toby, and you hit it right on the head. If people want to hear something, if they think a topic's a good idea, then they should definitely reach out to us. And we're going to really take that to heart, and we're going to try and deliver what the people really want. That's Surfcast Podcast.
You can find out more about the podcast and find more episodes at surfcastpodcast.com. And be sure to check us out on social media at the Surfcast Podcast.